This is that Samachay in the Berachos Yerushalmi according to the Art Scroll Osbalder edition. It's towards the top of Memhei Amud Beis of the Vilna edition. But we're going to start from the bottom Mem Gimel Amud Beis, just to go do that last line over again. I'm sorry, Mem Gimel Amud Beis. Samach Gimel Amud Beis. So here it says, based on that, Avni Lakim Madbea Bracha. Rashi says, "My bracha bachal bigas main shalosh." They gave it a long formula. It's not a short bracha. Marichin when you extend it. V'rachim alamcha chalecha ba'amik tashecha ba'artzion chulei ba'yishlam irkochecha. So all those things we add in, and to make it, which is when we have become formalized as the formula of the bracha. That's the charedim shot. The Pnei Moshe is has different shot, very different. But he says, "Behad lachtom haaretz mein shlosha." He'll say, "Kol brachos mein shlosha." Ben chamish zein ben yain uperos the meaning of the chaitzmin b'kulam al haaretz. And all of them we say al haaretz. We do that today, but we don't say the unless it's fruits of itself. We don't say pirya, right? And we don't say right? We don't say unless it's actually fruits of eretz, but the oretz include oretz in the bracha, in the chasimas bracha. The Rashi is somewhat like the Charedim, somewhat like Rashi, but not precisely. But we'll leave that out. For now, we'll go to the top of Mem Dal, Samach Dal. Ma'alas Kirba Mein Amora. In the bracha Mein Shalosh, do we mention that's the Shabbos Yontif when we say it? Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Zmina, Rabbi Zira have a maskeba Mein Amora. Yeah, you would include Mein Amora in it. The halacha is if you forget it in Al Michya, you have to go back. But you're supposed to say in Al Michya and the other similar brachas the day of Shabbos Yontif. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah said, "Who have Rabbi Zira." Since Rabbi Zira was choshesh, in other words, it's not the ever perhaps not an issue like we just said, but L'chadchila was choshesh to say it, so therefore we have to say the Mein Amora in Bracha Mein Sholosh as well. Tani, we learned Mevarchin al ha Dagon Shemin Mufchar. You make a bracha on the grain when it's from the best. Meaning, you make as Pnei Moshe says, you make a bracha on the best grain you have in front of you. So if you have kluskin ushlemosh v'abayis, if you have a bread which is kluskin and it's considered to be finer flour, but it's not showing. You have on the other hand, you have a showing there, a complete loaf, but it's a v'abayis, so it's a inferior grade of bread. So make the bracha on the kluskin. If you have a sliced piece of, oh no, sorry, I made a mistake. The first kluskin is simple, they're both loaves. Even so, it's kluskin and shlemish b'abayis, they're both shlemim. Kluskin shlemish b'abayis, omer ala kluskin. Kluskin, if you have a slice of the fine bread, shlemish b'abayis, and you have a whole one of the b'abas, omer ala shlema. The shlema b'abayis is superior because it's sholem even to the kluskin, which is the finer flour. Paschid and pasorim, if you have wheat bread and barley bread, omer al shel chitim. You say it on the chitim, on the grain which is wheat. I forgot. I wanted to explain kluskin a little bit further. The Charedim says kluskin is pounds shel uman, the bread of an artisan. Shows him which he makes in order to sell. Yichashuv shel bayis shows that's what's more significant than the balbas, but how the balbas' challah or balbas' bread, which is made for his own personal usage. Okay, so pasor and pas kusmin, if you have a bread of barley and a bread of rye, I forget if kusmin is rye or spelt. Actually, it's spelt. So if you have a bread of barley, bread of spelt, omar shel sarim. You say behind the barley. Valoshel kusami, you often matters in the spelt superior to barley. As Zumi Shiva, Ain Zain Zum Shiva. Yes, it's true. But in the Shiva it says Eretz Chito Sora. So even though other types of grain might be superior to barley, when barley is one of the choices, and as long as it's not wheat, wheat is not the other choice, so you do barley first because you do the bracha barley because it's one of the Shiva Saminim. I don't recall if that's in the Bavli or not. I'm sure it is. No, it seems to be only specifically in the Yerushalmi, but it seems to also be brought down La Lacha. Okay. Again, I don't think it's far that since main Shiva barley is better is brought down in the Bavli, only here in the Yerushalmi. They're better to make the bracha on. Says the Gemara. Rabbi Yaakov Barach b'shem Rabbi Zira did Rabbi Yudi. It's going to agree with Rabbi Yudi Amar Yesh b'nei min Shiva al Mavarich. Right, that's Rabbi Yudi's principle, which as long as there's a min Shiva involved, that's the one in which you make the brachos, the bracha, as opposed to. Okay, no, there's no opposition here. Next case, pasmei and pastora. If you have bread which is tummy, bread which is Torah, Omar Torah. You say the bracha on the Torah bread. Pas Nikia Tmeya. What if you have a clean bread or higher, superior grade of bread, but it's tummy? Pas Kibon, you have an inferior grade of bread, but it is tar. Kaski is like a dry bread, dried up. It's not fresh, or it's coarse actually. Skibor is Rashi says Medino Belaz. Where's the Moshe? He doesn't say, but he says the Tamea is Nikia, so the Kibor is a coarse bread. The Chareim doesn't say to see anything either. No. Okay, so Paskibar I think is not. So course the bread, but it says Paskibar Torah. Each have an advantage. Each have a deficit. Your choice. Korah. Korah is the fiber which grows around a palm tree. Rabbi Yaakov Barach b'shem Rishmo Omer Bore Prea Eitz. It's to be an edible and ikar fruit of the palm tree. So they make a Bore Prea Eitz. But Tanya Rabbi Chalafta ben Shol Shakol Niebivaro. No. It goes down double. It doesn't even go down to Bore Prea Eitz. It goes down to Shakol Niebivaro. And I didn't skip a line, right? Yeah. So it goes down to Shakol Niebivaro, evidently because it's not considered to be even a secondary pre. It's not considered to be a pre upon which the fiber is not considered to be a reason for planting a tree, and therefore it's just Shakol Niebivaro. Tanya Rabbi Shua Barem Bnei Shoyim, which is also lower grade bracha, which we don't have. Maznisa the Rabbi Yoshia Pliga Love. Though I'm Bryce and Rabbi Yoshia argues in it because it says the Elohim meaning the Shoyim, the specific type, but the specific species which are called the Shoyim. Hakinris v'chalima b'adamua v'atan. So this would not be included in the Shoyim, and therefore evidently still make a Shakol Niebivaro. Hakinris I think is an artichoke, but the other ones I'm not sure of except for Atah, which is a thorn bush. Okay, halacha base. I guess there was some part of the thorn bush which is considered to be not quite shako, but not hadama, so you know the shoy. Halacha base. Birach made a bracha on the fruit of the tree, but pri hadama, but you have it, you yotze. There's only okas hadama. I pray sadama, but prates lo yatsa. but not the other way around, because stuff which comes from the ground is not necessarily associated with the tree. And all of them Rabbi Yaakov Barachot Rabbi Yehuda. This is going to Rabbi Yehuda. Avi Esalonos Bekashin. Interesting term. The Bnei Moshe says, meaning that even trees that are cut down and become tough, that they no longer are dry moisture from the ground. Nevertheless, they're like absolute trees which are getting dry nourishment from the ground, and they are therefore like stuff which grows from the ground. Um, uh, yeah, so this is going about Bikurim. So I in the Sayim Magmara, Apnei Moshe Tzarechim. Apnei Moshe says it's difficult to understand. The Charenim says that the trees are like a straw which blows around along the ground. And the language of the Bavli is Matan Dikayilon Arahu, who says that a tree is like the ground. Rabbi Yehudi did not the if the spring dries up and the tree is cut down, maybe in a Korah you bring a Bikurim, but you don't read the Parsha Bikurim. Maybe a Korah you can bring and read the Parsha Bikurim. Peshashi the Ikar Ilan Arahu, Diga Koperes Aratu, the Kogal Mera, everything goes in the ground. If you had a field which is watered by irrigation, Bomayan, and has a spring in it, Shumashke from Mena, which irrigates it, the cuts are Bikurim Mena, you cut Bikurim from it, and then afterwards, the spring has become dried up. By trees, the kutzats, bikurim, and then the tree was cut down. Maybe you correct. You bring the bikurim, you don't read the parsha. Can't say from the ground which you gave to me. They came the other shemayim nichtatzilon, since the spring ran dry or the tree shriveled up. It's no longer considered to be from his ground. It's a little bit difficult. This is maybe a Korah, but that seems to be splitting something. In the question, maybe the Korah. I'm not sure what that last line is going on. Oh, it's going to Rabbi Yehuda. That's why Rabbi Yehuda says maybe B'Korei. Shara to Ikar. Okay, so which is still difficult. What does that have to do with straw? What does the straw have to do with whether it's growing from the ground or not? So I write in the side of my Gemara also that it seems to be like the best shot is like the sniper. That the tree is like the straw, not straw like hay, but it's like the straw which we used to drink from. It's kekash hamavir es hashpoas adama. It's a tremendous chap. Okay, it's like the capillary action of a tree is brings the moisture from the ground, and therefore the fact that the tree can be called hadama asher nasata li Hashem, right? Because it brings up the moisture from the ground, and also can be called get a bracha by pri adama because it brings the moisture up from the ground. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure Sniper learns the Gemara is all talking about Bikurim. Let's see how that works out. Rabbi Chizki Shem Yaakov Baracha, the Rabbi Yehuda, Avidas Ilos Kakashim. It's the tree enjoys the moisture from the ground. No, you do Bikurim necessarily. And that avoids the whole sugi of bringing in the Yaveh Shamayim Nitzitzilam, which seems to be difficult to bring down here. It's just saying something about the moisture. So, Rabbi Yossi Dibra Koli, everybody agrees. Peres Michal Peres Adama, Vein Peres Michal Peres Eitz. It's without coming on to this interesting scientific notion of the tree as a straw, everything grows from the ground. So therefore, Bari Adama is appropriate bracha. At least, but you have it. Yeah, on fruits you don't say by saying Bari Adama, but not on wine and not on bread. The Mishnah seems to say this. You must say Bari Adama and wine. Okay, so Tanya Rabbi Yossi Omer Kom Sham Al Besh Dav Chacham. Anybody change the formula of Chachamim embedded in the brachos? Lo Yitzay Dei Chavaso doesn't fulfill its obligation. And he, the way the Charedim says, Polygam Asisa Diktani Al Kuli Mashakul Yatsa. He argues on all these dispensations to change brachos around. He says you can't change any bracha. Why? Because it's the Matbesh Tabu Chachamim. It's the formula Chachamim gave the bracha. Then nobody have it. Maybe you said it properly or not. Rabbi Yudamer, Kol Ishtana Mi Briyaso, V'lo Shana Briyachoso Lo Shana. It's not as severe. The way Chareim says, Mayusu Daina Pas V'yayin Chilchita Ba'Novim Avashar Dvarim Mar Mashakol Yotza. So no, it's limited to wine and to the bread, because wine and bread they've changed, and they've changed in a way that they're now superior. So therefore, you're not yotze with shahako. So koshtam mibriyaso v'lo briyachaso. It changed what its character, but it didn't change bracha, not yotze. Meir filu amar baruch shebarach tefetz hazeh. We don't have this language in the Bible. Well, somebody, blessed is he who created this object. Not even mentioned food. Manoyu was there. How pleasant it is. Yotza, your yotze. And where it says, halacha krabi meir. I was like, Meir, Meir is very makbid by Matbesh Tov Chachamim Bekitin. It says, Kom Shayim Matbesh Tov Chachamim Bekitin, Avlat Mamzer. The child comes out to be a Mamzer, Achman of the But here is by Matbesh Tov Chachamim Berachos, he's not that simply stringent. Obviously, he's saying here that this is you are flexible. The pointing rights on the bottom. Chen Poskin, bottom of the Vilna. The Hachis Filei Nami, Ki Rabbi Yochanan Hasan, that Filu shall pass by Yain. Even on bread and wine, Yotze with a bracha of Shahako. And then it's down the story from the Bavli. So evidently you have, as long as it's some nusach of a bracha, it doesn't have to be precise, and you're still Yotze your chiyuv bracha, and it's considered evidently either we're not so makir bracha, or that this fulfills the criterion. And the Gemara says, Milsi Rav Amar Kain. There's evidence that's from Rav. Chad Parsoy Asr Gabi Rav, a certain Persian Jew, somebody came in front of Rav. Begin to anacha pisasi, since I eat my bread. V'lo anachachim mevarchole. I don't know how to make a proper bracha on it. The question is why I could learn. Okay, kasha nemaisa. V'ana mar, but I say baruch devara hadein pisa. Blessed is he who created this bread. Nothing on the chavasi. Do I fulfill my obligation? Amarin. He said yes. So Rav clearly holds I made it. The next part of the Gemara is very difficult. So at least according to Nei Moshe. Nei Moshe says that what we're about to learn about is where it says achunia, last line in the Amud, that is talking about plums or prunes. And that is very difficult with the development of the sugya. It's much easier to go with the charedim and with the or with any other mefarshim there. Charedim says that it's a type of grass. The Ratzbilil says it is uh, soft lulav shoots, which you pickle in vinegar and make a shako. And the Mashbiach says, Achunaisa is the lotion of achu, Atzirena ba'achu, and it's the grass as well. Okay, so that's the Pnei Moshe is very difficult to deal with. We're going to go with the other Mefarshim and say that the Achunisa is a type of grass. So the way the story goes is that you have Rabbi Chana, Yishem Abba, Rabbi Yehuda b'Shem Abba Bar Chana said that Bar Kaparo trained Talmudai, Bar Kaparo, two students, the Sarchutz about Bais, Badim Pandiga. They're about a bus in a certain inn, the Berachos in the place called Berachos, which is a seems to be a play on words. Employed by Hilchos Brachos in a place called Berachos. Abba Kamel Pargan Bachunia Kafluti brought in front of them chickens, which is shako, Achunisa, which is also shako, and Kaflutin, which is cabbage, which is Adama. Amay said, what bracha should we make? How should this proceed? So it says the Mashbiach, they didn't want to make a bracha shein tzricha. So therefore, and they knew, of course, the shahako exempts everything, right? But they wanted to teach everything its own bracha as is appropriate. So, and at the same time, they're not going to make a bracha shein tzricha. So they said, Nevarach al kafluta the patar achonisa. Let's make a bracha on top of mem hey samachem rav. Now I don't know why I keep on saying mem. They let's make a bracha on the cabbage. That should exempt the grass. So the mashbiach wants to say that the grass has no bracha whatsoever because it's grass. And therefore he says the afachu ain't bracha. Avaboy mamachol tzarich bracha el shika potro. But if it comes together with the other food, with the cabbage, so then it's the cabbage exempts it. So according to this, what comes out that if you make the cabbage, then of course, the only reason why the grass is food is because with the cabbage, so therefore the bracha of the cabbage patters the achonisa. Below pater pargisa, but doesn't exempt the chicken. Well, of course, doesn't exempt the chicken because it's a hadama. I make a hadama on chicken. The bracha achonisa maybe make a bracha on the grass, make a bracha bar pri hadama, and that is pater the ikar, which is when the cabbage. No, lo pater lo daim won't work because since you make a bracha which is not supposed to be a bracha, it can't pater anything else. So then the Gemara says that's the second possibility. That doesn't work. So what do they do? What did the person do? One of them jumped up and said, shako on the chicken, and he exempted everything else, obviously, because shako works not just on chicken, but generically works in everything else. The Gemara says that obviously his doesn't say this, but obviously his question was, you were afraid bracha shein tzricha. All we have to do is make a shako. What's the big deal? Let me make a shako. So the other one, Talmud started mocking him. Said Gochel Chavrei, started laughing at him. He said, "Yeah, okay, you say brachas, but you didn't make wasn't done properly because you had Adama here and you messed up the Adama." So we're going already into the next plot. So I think into the next plot. So I think we'll finish this. It might take a long time today. So I think we'll finish the story tomorrow. You know what? Let's not. Let's go to the Mishnah. Even though it's going to take us to the Mishnah, but we'll try and do it quickly. So Bar Kappa was upset at both of them. And first he said, and this is similar in the Bavli, Lo lezegor garan el cholog lagon. I'm not upset. First he said, I'm not upset, although he didn't mean it's really not upset. He really was upset at the person who jumped to make the bracha. I'm saying you for mocking him, right? Because he didn't make a bracha shein tzricha. He had a cheshbon. Why are you mocking him? Then he said to the, but then he said, so It's true he did it hastily, but because he wanted to get to the food quickly, he didn't want to reason it out. I told him, why did you scoff at him? Uzemar, but then he said to the guy who made the bracha, he said, you might be famished, but too bad. There was no sage, no elder that you can ask, meaning, including me. So both of them died within a year. Because Bar Kappar obviously was felt to upset them. There's the prosecuting Shammai, and that was that. Rabbi Yosef said, yeah, very fine and dandy. But Ha'azli trained, 2 people died. I could do. We don't have any maskana here. What's supposed to do? So Rabbi Yosef says, Mistabra Mevarech al kaflut. We make a bracha on kaflut, on the cabbage. And why? Because shahakol near before tefillah. Because the shahakos are tafel. According to simple shot, that means that it must be, conclusion more is that the cabbage, the chicken, and the grass were all in one dish. And therefore, you make a bracha on the adama, which is the cabbage, and it potters everything else. Mashbiach doesn't like that. Mashbiach says you make a bracha, it means to say you make a bracha on the cabbage first, give it the appropriate bracha, and then on the chicken, make a shakol ne'bidvaro, right? And what it says, when it says tfelalo, it's not referring to the shahako being tafel to the adama, but rather subordinate in its significance. So therefore it means you make a first hadama on the kaflut, and then make a shakol v'yavar, which is the subordinate bracha. So when according to Maskana, the way it reads in a simple sense, the chiddush is that you can be Yotzes one bracha here. It's just that this guy made the wrong bracha. He should have made hadama, because other things in this way of eating are tafel to the hadama. According to Mashbiach Pshat, no, he was wrong in that he only made one bracha. He made and he made the wrong bracha. He said a shakol ne'avaro. He should have made 2 brachas. He should have had hadama first, because that's the mufchar in the brachas. That's the more specialized, and then afterwards said shakol ne'avia on the chicken, or if you don't know the mashbiach, you could have made on the grass. Mashbiach holds the grass had no bracha, but the grass does have bracha. But you make a bracha on one of them, on the chicken, and it's motzi the achel. Perhaps if you don't make mashbiach on the achel, it's motzi the chicken. But that's the halacha as we have it today. Make hadama on the thing which has dama, and make shahako on the things that are shahako. And you don't have to make 2 shakos, because the one shakel is tafel to the other shakel. Again, that can like the mashbiach, that could mean that that the shahako it's not that the one is ikar and one is tafel in the usual sense, but rather that you only make 1 shahako for as many shahakos as you have in front of you. Okay, so let's say that one more time, which is that according to the simple Mishnah Gemara, they were all mixed together. You make hadama, and it's motzi everything, because everything else is tafel with hadama. According to the Mashbiach learns the Gemara, you make a hadama on the specialized bracha, and then you make the secondary bracha, which is shakol, and you would make it on the chicken and not on the grass, because according to them, the grass is not really suitable for a bracha by itself. And according to the alternative would be to say no, grass is also shahako, but you make a bracha on the hadama, and then you make either shahako, and the second thing doesn't require its own special shahako.